What's up, guys? We are out at the Norcross Library. The contractor is paving the street today, so I had to park at the top of the hill. You can see the library down in the distance. It's amazing what a grade change it is from the top of the park here on the stairs to Buford Highway. So we've got the lawn in front of us, and there's some talk about taking the big tree down that kind of blocks the view of the library. There's some fantastic views from the inside, and as much as I like trees, that may be the right thing to do. But yeah, let's make our way down to the library and see where we are. We should be opening pretty soon here, and there's a lot of last minute activity. The park has this great splash pad that you see children playing in all the time. Here's a nice view of the adjacent residential development and our green roof. I always go straight to the library. I never park up here. It's neat to see this vantage point. Yeah, so the green roof really looks nice. You see the trucks over here laying down asphalt. Got the old Methodist church. The city now owns it. There's a large meeting space inside where we had some of our first community meetings. At one time, the library was actually going to be adjacent to that building, and we moved it down to the bottom of the hill. You can see the grade change here. It's just really, really incredible. Now I have heard talk of making Britt Avenue to our left one way. I've also heard talk of closing it off, so we'll see what happens there. Park on the right. So we got a few parking spaces we left from the street, and then got the library in the distance. It's really windy today. I don't know how that audio quality is going to be. I left all my equipment up in the truck. I'm just walking around with the phone right now. But yeah, so this is how the guys lay asphalt. Got this great turnaround right here and some steps up onto the park level. Library opens real nicely out onto the lawn. So it's not as hot today as it has been, but this is a hot job right here for these guys. You can see the turnaround, the entry to the library in the distance. Gonna be nice. Guys finished paving Britt Avenue. Looks nice. You can see the glass elevator here. It's really cool to be able to see right through the elevator. And of course, we got this glass wall here that opens up onto the park from the meeting room. Also very nice. Here's our entry stairs. The pavers turned out great. And our exterior room is fantastic. Really looking forward to getting the bench wood on, and we have some wood that forms tabletops and benches along each of these planters, and then when the landscaping goes into the planters, it's going to be fantastic as well. So this wood here is Ipe. This is it naturally. We are going to put a sealer on it. It's a very dense wood. You can see that the grain is extremely tight, and it's almost got an oily surface to it. It's very different than an oak or pine. Windows look fantastic. The deck here has been stained with the stripes. Really looks nice. You can see the color very nicely here. Tried to go with a little bit warmer. I'm okay with that. This through here went a little bit cooler with the pavers, and it's warmer out here. Maybe it's different areas, so that's okay. You can see the stripes here. What we did is we went through and did a medium sandblast next to a light sandblast, and they cleaned it up very nicely. We still have to get the lights in underneath each of these benches, so at night they should look like they're floating. You can see here we carried the stripes through the center of each of the planters. Really looks nice, but it is hot out here. The library is already talking about putting up some sort of trellis or just something to hold the sun back. Wow, it just really changed the look of the deck out here. I'm glad we did it. Before it seemed like a concrete jungle. It warms it up kind of nicely. I'll be interested to see how this stain over time, if it fades. You can see here we've kind of got these defined areas at each of the planters. These will have some Ipe bench tops on them, which should be fantastic. And the library, I'm very excited to hear this. They've already got some ideas about how to activate the top of the plaza, put up some library tents that people can see from Beaufort Highway as they drive along, maybe entice some people who have not come to the library to visit. Very, very nice front entry stairs. I really like our guardrails too. We spent some time designing those, trying to make them a little bit different. They have some lights inside them, so at night that should light up nicely. But the area in front of you is one of the exterior program spaces the library can use, and then the area right here, which is outside the teen area. But the plaza is really coming together, starting to look finished. We used these large cantilevered overhangs. That was part of the Frank Lloyd Wright concept with the library, and it really turned out nice. The bench will wrap the corner here, and that was just sort of that continuation of wrapping around the corner, kind of open corner concept. You can see here we don't have the mullion in the corner, just trying to keep that open. And looking down in the distance, you see the large cantilever as well. It is amazing the difference of temperature in the shade versus out on the deck. This area will really be used, and of course it was very intentional to have this large overhang on this face, since it will never receive direct sunlight. Let's go look on the inside of the library. Again, we are getting very close to substantial completion here. We're actually doing some punch list items today. You can see here the guys are working on some of the mill work. You've got your book drop to the left. Again, we have our Michael Graves blue ceiling here. Just fantastic color, looks really nice with the white washed wood. Got a great entry vestibule into the library. On the left here will be some vending machines. We've got an Amazon locker. The restrooms are on the left as well. They've been wrapped with the same whitewashed wood, which really looks fantastic. We built the millwork out of the same wood as well. Looks great. The furniture has started going in and started getting some of the books in as well. I really want to see here, we've got some built-in periodical shelves, and I could see some magazines and newspapers. You kind of pull up and grab something and read in these chairs. We still need to finish the benches along the wall here. And right through here is all adult shelving. The corner is our living room. We still need to paint the back wall to form that block of color. It's a fun color though. Really like how it turned out. Again, we tried to place color where you would enter, just to kind of signify those entry points. And then here's our corner glass that opens up onto the park. You can see the fountain today real nicely. The view, we knew it was going to be a great view, but it really turned out to be this fantastic panoramic look out onto the landscape. Got some fun seating here. We ended up going with a lot of solid colors, and we tried to repeat some of those same greens and blues that you see in other areas of the library. Our kiosk check-in station is currently being built. Here's an example of the framed opening with color. We used felt along the top and vertical surfaces, and then down at the bottom we have some purple carpet to kind of continue that same color. And then we continue the colors inside each of the rooms as well. So in this study room, that purple's on the inside, and then over here in the teen area, we continue the same yellow on the inside as well. It really helped. We kind of added that detail last minute. Here's our learning labs, and then fun furniture for the teens. The meeting room is really starting to come together. You can see all the colors here. This was another concept where we took and made all these stripes along the outside wall, and it really turned out nice. We wanted a lot of color to brighten up the meeting room, and it works. Got some fun purple seating in here. This is the children's area, and the felt has gone in here. We tried to have blue on the right side and red on the left. I've taken some video of the children's area. This is probably my favorite spot in the library. It's just a defined space. One of the things that happens in modern library design is you'll see that everybody is so concerned about flexibility and the unknown of the future that you end up making these large open rooms with a bunch of furniture that you just push around to form spaces. And we've really started moving away from that with our designs and being very deliberate about creating great spaces. And this is a fantastic view right here of the meeting room from this side. This nano wall can open up. The proportions feel a little bit different down on this side of the building because the ceiling is lower. So we put the children's area on the low side of the building in order to bring it down to the scale of the child, and it really works well. We tried to define some of the different areas in the library to create that space. Libraries talk about being flexible, but most of the time it's very difficult and expensive once you're in a library to change things around, and with budgets you just don't have the money to build new things. Now, one of the things we do have here is a raised floor system. So this whole library is on a raised floor, and right now I'm looking for a floor outlet. You can't tell walking around on it, but it has 5 inches underneath it where you can lay cabling, and oh, here we go. Here's a floor outlet right here. So this outlet can be moved around, and I'll go find a piece of furniture. We've spent a lot of time and care in figuring out the best way to tie powered furniture into the floor, and it's something that you can go in a lot of different libraries and it's never done well. But furniture is also picking up with the understanding of the best way to do that, and they've started building furniture where you can run the power down through legs. And then if you can incorporate a floor box like this where you're plugging in essentially inside the floor box, and then you just have this little cable piece where the cable pops out on the top. That's a really nice way to do it. We start to catch some views of Buford Highway. Again, we have our open corners. The sidewalks in, the front stairs are in front of you, and then we've got these views onto the raised roof plaza. This area in front of us can be some exterior programming for the library, maybe some sort of exterior reading area. Again, it's so hot this time of day that may be more of a wintertime activity, but there's certainly some opportunity to be able to do that. Let's go find some of the furniture. I'll show you how it works. They've been putting furniture together really the last couple weeks. Our shelves did not come in time, so we moved some of the old shelves from the old library over in order to have books when everything opens. This turned out really well, framing this opening with the green. Some of the other openings we dropped lower. These here we took up to the underside of the knife edge, and I really like that look better than some of these lower openings. Now, I guess we could have done the same thing over here. It's just something that's a little bit different. We try to bring the scale down since those are smaller rooms, but this just really turned out fantastic. Love it. Let's go see what we got back of house. So we're out here today punching all the door hardware. So you got all these kick plates and all sorts of devices that are on doors that you have to take a look at. Really looks great in here with this bench. Well, they've started getting some of the different appliances in as well. So here, the guys have got to come and paint purple around there as well. That'll kind of define the entry into the break room there. We're just trying to continue some of those details everywhere. You got great views out onto the library. That increases the secure feeling inside. Here's the workroom. They got some of the desks installed here. And then this is the view from the inside of the workroom out towards the park where we were standing a few minutes ago. Yeah, guys, that's it. That is the Norcross Library. I may go and get some of the parking deck, take some pictures of the parking deck in a minute, or this may be it. But if you guys have not liked the video, I'd appreciate you doing that. And as always, if you haven't taken the chance to subscribe, that would be fantastic as well. But otherwise, thanks for watching, and we will see you next time. Here's a great view out onto the landscape. Again, all of the windows along this facade, there are more windows than the facing facade along Buford Highway, and that was very intentional so that we followed the speed of a vehicle. The idea being that the slower sides of the building had more windows and the faster sides of the building had fewer. It really works out nicely. You got more windows where you have more views and you have more time to look out onto the landscape. But let's just go from one side to the other. You can see these great views onto the deck, out onto the park. And in front of us, all of this dirt here will be landscaped here in the next week or two, and just really should finish off nicely. My hope is that people really gravitate towards these windows. You pull up here along these benches and tables, and you sit down with the laptop and you do a little bit of work. One of the things that we try to work very hard doing is consider how sunlight enters the building. There's a concept called museum fatigue. And if you were sitting here at one of these tables and you had this stream of daylight coming in and you're trying to read, the light output from the sun is a lot higher than the light output here from these light fixtures. So you get this contrast and you get tired, you get headaches. So we work very hard to make sure that the areas of the library that have a lot of windows do not receive that direct sunlight. Here we have an example of one of the desks. This works very well. You can see how the power cords are tucked up nicely. They go to each corner of the table, and then they run down this one interior leg. And it looks like here, the way this table is designed is you can actually run down any of the legs. Now, there's a lot of debate on where to put this. We could move this table so that we shorten the cord and the legs right on top of the plug into the floor. That's probably what we'll end up doing. However, this is a condition where you don't have somebody that's going to kick this cord and pull the plug out. You can see it's plugged in right here. Very, very nice, clean connection. Just fantastic. And that has taken us years and multiple libraries to figure out. Such a challenge. There's a lot of different people that involves. Now, one of the things that has helped us is this raised floor. And when you have the raised floor, if for some reason you decided to change furniture or the furniture came out and it was built a little bit different, you can always move the location of the floor outlet. I'm looking for the outlets along this face as well. They may not have installed, well, here's one that's going to go in right here. So we have electrical outlets that are in this bench as well. The idea being that you can charge your phone or device. Here we go, here's one. When you're sitting at the table. That of course is something that just really now is like a given that you have to have. And we also have USB charging ports here as well. Just again, one of the small details to work out in a library that hopefully makes it a little bit nicer for patrons to use. Here's a view looking back out into the main space. You can see here how the ceiling is higher. That gives it a little bit more of a formal feel. We are going to paint the black pipes, you see. Those are going to be painted white and it'll kind of go away. We did change to painting the whole ceiling white. At one time, I was going to leave this the natural color, and it's a very different feel with the white. Oh, so here's the guys right now. They're filling up this planter with some of the stone. Now, there are drains at the bottom of each of these planters, but the dirt that goes in it is more of an engineered dirt. You don't pound Georgia clay on the inside of these planters. It's a material that drains very well, and the plants that we have inside are very drought tolerant. We do have some irrigation, but you can see how well the plants are doing out on this hot deck. They really look fantastic.